Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my daily Facebook Live. My name is Barry Selby. Welcome. This is number 199 in an ongoing series of talks called Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. I get my tongue articulating properly here. My name is Barry Selby. I am a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. I'm also a passionate champion for the divine feminine. And again, this is number 199 in an ongoing series of Facebook Live talks called Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. It came out clean that time. So tomorrow's number 200, the big 200, so we can see what that looks like. Should be fun. But tonight's topic is inspired from a conversation with a friend, which happens a lot in my life. I have conversations and that inspires these talks. And so the topic tonight that came on board is, why would you choose a convenient relationship? And of course, before I get to that, I have to explain what that is so you actually know where I'm coming from. Or should say, maybe if I articulate what a, If I articulate what a convenient relationship is, you can then see if you resonate with it. And I don't necessarily know I have an actual definition for it, but what I'm feeling about a convenient relationship is one that doesn't require any effort or stretching. Because the reality is, relationships can be very simple, or they can be very challenging, and they can be anything in between, because that's what the human being is like. We're individuals who are very different and complex, and that can make it very challenging, very easy. The easy way to do it is to avoid everything. And some relationships that are convenient are in that camp, because convenience is a means to just be comfortable. And I don't mean in a way that is graceful and easy. I'm realizing out two diverging paths, so let me just qualify what I mean here. There are some relationships that are so in alignment that it feels convenient because it's so graceful. It's easy that way. What I mean by convenient, though, is easy because you're not doing anything about it. I mean, there are relationships out there that people have that are almost business transactions. They're convenient for both parties, everybody wins, and it's all very fine. And frankly, they're boring. There's no depth to that. Excuse me a second. Slurp. Okay, get my throat back. I think sometimes these messages get stuck in my throat. I wonder why. So, to recap, to go forward. I hate the word convenience in a relationship. And I mean this in context because when somebody uses the term that they're in a relationship out of convenience, it feels like they're not that bothered about, frankly, the other person. Because convenience to me is something that's pretty selfish. If you're doing something out of convenience, you're not putting the effort in, you're not putting any commitment into stretching or becoming more participatory in the relationship. And a relationship, I'm going to say this. A relationship is work, but work of the best kind. That's the way I feel. Because a relationship excuse me, a relationship between two individuals can be an incredible journey of growth together, evolution, transformation, heights of ecstasy, depths of pleasure, openness to spirit, connections, and all these different things. That isn't convenient. That is a huge call, and one that which a lot of people are afraid to go into. So, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Getting close to the 200th. Yes, it's going to be good tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be about. I mean, it may just be in just another broadcast, but it's the 200th one that's, yeah. So thank you for that, Mary Kate. Staying on topic. A relationship that's convenient is like dipping a toe in the water. It's effortless in terms of there's no effort put out, and it's missing something. A truly potent, powerful, fulfilling relationship is not a convenient relationship. It also requires a willingness to commit to the other person and to yourself, to dedicate your energy and your partnership and your heart to the common good of the relationship between the two of you. And it's not an easy journey. Being in a committed relationship is not something that's convenient. I would say that in some ways, committed relationship and convenience don't fit together. I mean, to be blunt, someone you can have sex with conveniently is usually not a relationship. That's just someone just to, to be blunt, a fuck buddy. I wouldn't be that crude. But it's that sort of term. I believe that relationships, a truly potent relationship, does require commitment, effort, and willingness, because you're going to stretch yourself. And your partner will stretch too. Now, this requires both partners playing at that level, which is also another part of this. There are uneven relationships. One person is much more committed than the other person is. It rarely works. And I talked about that in, I'm trying to remember which chapter it was in my book, 50 Ways to Love Your Lover. Yes, I have a book out. That's why I'm a best-selling author. And one of the chapters talks about rubber band relationships. And how that works is that when one person grows, the other person doesn't. It puts tension on that relationship. I've done it on another video. I'll tell you another time. But the idea being is that when one person grows, the other person doesn't, it creates separation. And that's not longer a relationship. Convenience is when you both don't bother to do anything. In a way. It's a relationship where people get out of convenience. It's usually not the highest ideal choice to be in a relationship. Because, again, for me, relationship is one that is a choice by both partners to step into a greater exploration of love, of life, of togetherness, that is taking you both to a different level of experience. And there's convenience if you have a lot of what's the word? You have things you have in common that you like, sure. Inconvenient if you live close together. But I'm talking about those things. I'm talking about convenience emotionally. That's where I'm coming from. Okay, it took me a while to get there. Now I get the point. A relationship of convenience is an emotionally convenient or a mentally convenient relationship. Doesn't require you to stretch, to grow, to evolve. And it's boring. At least in my book. And I'm sure most of you who watch this, who follow my work, you have the same feeling. A relationship that is of two partners that really choose to come together and grow is anything but convenient, because it's likely to change your life. And when your life changes, that's usually not very convenient, to put it simply. And that's, for me, what the joy of relationship is. Relationship is something that, in some ways, I've been witnessing a lot over the years, having not been in one for a long time. Yes, it's true, because I've been really pursuing my work. As I said before, one of my teachers said for the man to be in his masculine, his purpose must become clear in the world before he can have a healthy relationship. And I proved the other way around doesn't work. But that's a whole other conversation. But it put me in a place of being able to witness relationships, especially in my coaching with my clients. And when I see relationships that were a convenience, I see broken hearts. I see a waste of time, literally like years. I see relationships that basically never had an end result that was beneficial to either party. And it's sad. I feel that those people who choose relationships, who really choose relationships, not just to go on Tinder and swipe and then go out with somebody, but choose relationships, have an intention, my prayer, to grow, to evolve, to become more of who they can be through the interaction with their partner. And that, to me, that's maybe it's just my ideal. I don't think it's just mine. But I feel it's one of those key things in relationships, to have a willingness to dive deep through your own stuff with your partner and her stuff with your partner with your stuff, vice versa. I'm using from the masculine point of view. That's where the goal is. And that isn't convenient. Thank God. Relationships, I'm probably talking to, less than 1% of the population who thinks this way, because 90+% of the population, certainly in this country, relationship is a stepping stone to old age. It's you grow up, you go out to work, you find a partner, you get married, you settle down, have kids, retire and die. That's a marriage of convenience. Now, some people I know choose relationships very deep in that journey, but for most people that's kind of the thin layer of the surface that they play on. For the work I've done over the years of people I know, watch this, and people who I love as well, we've chosen a deeper journey in life so we witness ourselves and we witness life from a different perspective. So when we look at relationship, it's through that lens. So instead of being just surface, it's like let's dive deep into life, into growth, into our own evolution. A relationship is a doorway. Okay, again, these things come through, so bear with me. A relationship is a doorway to self-realization, to knowing spirit in human form with each other, to being reflected back to you the power of what's possible. There's another one in there. come back to me. I saw 4 come in. That's the ones coming through? Okay. And it's a way to change the planet. Oh, yeah, that's inconvenient, isn't it? But this is the possibility of relationship. So I guess what I'm also coming to the point in this broadcast is to suggest that relationship could be something you could choose consciously with someone who you see that spark in, that you have this possibility to dance together, where you can grow and evolve and change your life, their life, and the world around you at the same time. Highly inconvenient and worth every moment. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because this is the challenge that we have in relationships that are out there, is that a lot of people do it the convenient ways. Again, when you got a smartphone app where you can go swipe, click, it's really convenient. Then you're willing to do the work, to step in deeper, to actually commit to choosing to go deep. Now, I know there are stories, there are some people, excuse me a second, just have some allergies this morning, tonight, whatever it is. There are those people who choose to go and do the smartphone swipe, date, go out with somebody and have a great time. They're fine with it. But truly, is that what will fulfill you? Would you be willing to choose a relationship where you aren't challenged to go deeper, where you aren't challenged to go higher, where you maybe aren't challenged to face yourself, and maybe not challenged to be as big as you could be? Are you willing to face a relationship where none of that happens? Or are you waiting for a relationship or choosing to focus on a relationship where that will happen? I'm not answering questions for you. These are your questions to think about. Before I choke myself to death, I'm trying to keep this to a point so I can sign off quickly, because I don't want to go too long on these. I'm thinking if there's anything else around this topic that's coming through. There's more, I think. It all has to come from excuse me, from the willingness, well, certainly the willingness, sorry, I have to do this. I put glasses on, Dan, I have to read this now. Oh, it all has to come from the willingness to both artists' part to communicating with honesty. That's what the artist part is, the fear of communication and expressing your true feelings. Well, yes, and, excuse me, it's a risk, yes. More, please elaborate. Yeah, well, this is the thing. The fear of communication is where the shortcut to convenience comes from. If you're afraid to communicate, you lose. It's that simple. It's the willingness to communicate that stretches you and opens you up to your true self, as you said, your true feeling. Prefacing that is choosing a relationship where you can do that. It's hard to do that sort of communication expression everywhere with everybody, because most people don't receive it. So it is about making wise choices in partnership, in friendships, in every relationship you have in the world, to find people you can trust. That may not happen with family members, because that's not necessarily people we choose. But in romantic relationships, in social relationships, in business relationships, can you choose people that you can be that transparent with? That's the ideal. At least that's what I'm holding for. So, Mary Kate, in terms of that question, your question or your statement rather, it is a challenge if you don't have relationships where you can do that with, where you can trust that and have safety with that, because that's the work. And that's kind of my work too, is the journey into being that transparent that I have no fear about what I say to anybody. I'm not there yet. And there's some people I know there is no way of communicating with that with them, because one, either they won't understand it, or two, they'll throw it back at me in a negative way, because that happens. Or three, they then think it's a way in to basically use me as their sounding board for all their stuff, and I don't want to do that myself. With these great, thanks for all the comments, by the way. I love all this. Kristen, I recall early in the relationship with my operative ex-boyfriend that I explained I was not there to be convenient. Good. A wise choice, Kristen. Absolutely. And this is the thing. Being willing to communicate up front with the person you're moving into a relationship with sets the tone for the relationship. And again, this is about convenience part. Convenient relationships where you don't ever tell your partner what you want. You just go along with the flow. So everything from how you like the toothpaste to be left on the counter with a cap on or cap off, on the toilet paper which way around the roll goes, to what sexual position you prefer. Everything in between can be talked about in an open, honest, vulnerable connection relationship, which is not convenient for most people. They'd rather just put up with what they get because they don't necessarily think they deserve better. Oh, here's a whole other piece. Many people choose convenient relationships because they don't think they are, they don't think they deserve any more. That they think that they can be happy with what they've got, and they're not willing to hold out for more. And the price they pay is their lives, because they spend their life in the wrong relationship, and they lose. They lose out. They don't get what they want. And I came close a couple of times. Thankfully, I caught wind of what was going on in my life and what I was choosing very early on, so I didn't spend a long time with relationships. But many people do. I've seen relationships that have gone 20, 30 years where the reason they got together was because it was the right thing to do because of their family dynamics or something else. It was never their real freedom to choose. So that's a part of the conversation. So what you said, Kristen, about putting up front that you don't want to be convenient, well, those sort of things where you say up front with your partner as you're moving into a relationship, when we get to that level of commitment, and maybe I'll do another talk on this one, is stepping into primary relationship with somebody. When you choose into, what is your conversation going to be about? What are you putting on the table with your partner to invite them into partnership with you? It is not necessarily as organic as we used to think it is. A truly authentic, deep relationship requires communication. And to build trust and honesty in that place is communicate clearly what it is you're willing to give, what you want to receive. And it can be parts of the conversation. It doesn't have to be the whole, like, okay, here's A to Z, my life, in my calendar for next year, what I want to give and receive. Not like that. But having the willingness to communicate with your partner about what you prefer, what you expect, what you require in partnership, that will make the relationship work for you. And what you wanted to give into that relationship, so the partner benefits too. And so you have this understanding that you can play in. Now, be honest, be real, because don't promise things you can't deliver. That creates a whole other can of worms. But having the willingness to communicate raises the conversation from above convenience into possibility. And that's what I wish for all of you, is a relationship that is one of expanded, expressed, and explored possibilities. That and more. I think that was the last piece. I think that was it. Yeah. Unless something comes up in the moment or I'm wrapping up, this is the end of this talk, I think. So this is my daily Facebook Live, number 199. Thanks for joining me, by the way. And I'd like to invite your questions and comments below. Thanks for the comments that came up in the broadcast, by the way. I welcome those. And if you have any more, you'll put it in the comments below. I'll answer them later on when I stop coughing. But this is number 199. Tomorrow's my 200th Facebook Live. So that's been, I think, about 170 in a row. So it's been good. You're welcome, Kristen. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here. And this hopefully take to heart. Yes, excuse me for that. I'm glad you got value from this. And again, if you have any questions, comments, put them below. If you want to reach out to me over social... I'm rushing. Excuse me. Let's look at this handy. Cassandra, how is convenience different from responsibility? I'd say the almost opposite. Convenience, responsibility is two things. Well, three. Responsibility to yourself, responsibility to your partner, responsibility to the relationship. Convenience basically obliterates all of that. Because convenience is generally speaking selfish. It's only for yourself, really. Because you're not willing to put anything out energetically to go beyond in a relationship. And responsibility puts you in a place of being accountable. And puts you in a place where you can respond and interact with your partner that may put you beyond the safety zone of convenience. So I would say in this conversation that they are almost opposites in the language I'm feeling. Responsibility is a big part of relationships that are working because both partners are responsible for their own emotional expression, their interaction in the relationship, their transparency, their honesty. All these things they bring to the relationship is part of that piece of being responsible. And convenience doesn't come into the picture with that. There's a part of me going, but if you're really good at that stuff, then maybe it is convenient. So maybe that is. I'm not going to go there with that one. But the reality is the choice point to be responsible, to be fully exposed in a relationship, to be transparent, to be raw and real in a relationship, which is really about being responsible too, because you're being responsible to present yourself 100% truthfully, honestly, transparently to your partner. For most people, that is nothing like convenience. So I'd put them on opposite end of the spectrum. I think that's about it, as my voice seems to work and my throat stopped croaking. So first of all, thank you for joining me. Thanks for the comments and thanks for the participation. I appreciate you being here. This is my 199th broadcast. Tomorrow's number 200. My Facebook Live series of messages from the masculine to inspire the feminine heart is just that. Usually they're about relationships, about masculine and feminine polarity, about purpose, about living the world, about how we can get on better, and feminine leadership, a bunch of stuff like that. You know, just that sort of stuff. You can watch all of them on my website, under barryselby.com. You can find them on my video blog. They're also on my business page on Facebook, as well as on my YouTube channel, where this will be showing up soon as well. If you have any questions, comments about this, you want to put them below, I'll answer them later. And if you have any desire for help in the area of relationship and love, you can reach out to me over social media. Or go to my website, which is barryselby.com, and click on the Let's Chat button, and we can set up a time to talk. With that, thank you for watching, and thanks for being here. Thank you for the questions and comments. I really appreciate that. It makes it much more interactive and hopefully provide you with some answers. And if you have any more questions, I will answer them afterwards, typing in afterwards as well. And thank you for joining me. Hopefully, I think tomorrow's broadcast should be earlier in the day, I think. We'll see. But thank you for joining me. And keep tabs on me, because I am doing one tomorrow, which is my 200th. I have no idea what it's going to be. If it'll be anything special or not, we'll see. But I do appreciate you being here. I appreciate your participation. And I appreciate you being willing to consider taking your relationship beyond the level of being convenient. Because you deserve the best. If you're watching my broadcast, you'll know I do encourage you, and I'm going to say it again. Take care of yourself, please, because we need you and you deserve the best. So with that, thank you for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow, and I wish you a good evening, and take care of yourselves. Bye.